These are the 5 nutrients to stop leg weakness if you're over 50 years. Protein, the muscle savior for aging legs. You know, one of the first things I noticed as I got older was how my legs just didn't feel the same. Climbing stairs? Suddenly harder. Walking longer distances? Exhausting. Even standing up from a chair felt like a small workout. If you felt that too, you're not alone. And this is often the early warning sign of something called sarcopenia. That's a fancy word for the gradual loss of muscle mass and strength as we age. And it hits our legs first because they're the ones doing all the heavy lifting every day. But here's the thing, sarcopenia isn't a sentence we just have to accept. I found out that protein plays a huge role in slowing this down. Protein isn't just something athletes or bodybuilders obsess over. For us older adults, it's like the secret weapon for keeping those legs strong and reliable. Our muscles are literally made of protein, and as we get older, our bodies become less efficient at using it to rebuild muscle. It's like your muscles stop responding to the usual signals telling them to grow or repair, something scientists call anabolic resistance. This means we actually need more high-quality protein than we did when we were younger to get the same muscle-building effect. Pretty wild, right? What's even more interesting is the role of one amino acid called leucine. Leucine is like the captain of the muscle-building team. It's found in foods like eggs, dairy, and lean meats. Leucine sends a powerful message to your body's muscle factory to get working, activating a pathway called mTOR, which is basically the muscle-building command center. Without enough leucine, even a protein-rich meal might not do its job fully. So, what happens if you don't get enough protein? It's a slow decline, but trust me, the effects are huge. Weak legs, more falls, less mobility, slower recovery from injuries, and sadly, a greater risk of losing independence. Even if you're eating enough calories overall, if protein intake is low, your muscles can start breaking down, replaced by fatigue and weakness instead of strength. Here's something I started doing: spreading my protein intake evenly across meals. Instead of waiting until dinner to eat my protein, I make sure to include good sources at breakfast and lunch too. This helps fight anabolic resistance more effectively. Some great protein sources I go for are whey protein, eggs, fish, chicken, and Greek yogurt, all rich in leucine. If you're plant-based, don't worry. Tofu, lentils, and quinoa can contribute too. But it's all about combining them right to get all the essential amino acids. Sometimes eating enough protein can be a challenge. Appetite changes, chewing problems, or just not feeling hungry. That's when protein shakes or powders can come in handy. They're easy, concentrated, and give your legs exactly what they need. Studies suggest aiming for about 1.2 to 1.5 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight daily to really protect your muscles. For me, that was a game changer. It wasn't just about eating more protein, but making sure it was spread out and high quality. Now, have you ever thought about how much protein you actually eat during the day? If your meals are mostly carbs or fats, it might be time to rethink that. Your legs will thank you for it. Omega-3, fatty acids, the anti-inflammatory and circulation boosters. Now let's talk fats, but not the kind we usually worry about. Omega-3 fatty acids are like little superheroes for your legs, especially when it comes to pain and inflammation. If you've ever had stiff, achy knees or sore calves, you know how frustrating that can be. Inflammation is often the culprit behind this discomfort, and as we age, low-grade chronic inflammation tends to creep in, slowing us down and making movement tougher. What's fascinating about omega-3s is how they actually help cool down this invisible fire inside our bodies. Unlike pain meds that mask symptoms, omega-3s work at the cellular level to dial down the inflammatory signals. Two key players here are EPA and DHA, found mostly in fish oil. These guys help produce molecules called resolvins that actively resolve inflammation, allowing joints to move more freely with less swelling. I noticed that after including omega-3s in my diet, my joints felt less stiff, and my legs didn't feel as heavy or achy. But the benefits don't stop there. Circulation is another huge piece of the puzzle. As we get older, blood flow to the legs can slow down. That's why many seniors complain about cold feet, cramps, or wounds that just won't heal. Omega-3s support the health of the blood vessels' inner lining, helping them dilate properly and keep blood flowing smoothly. This means your muscles and nerves get the oxygen and nutrients they need to work well and recover quickly. For people dealing with diabetes or peripheral artery disease, this improved circulation is especially critical. It helps reduce risks of serious complications like nerve damage or infections. Speaking of nerves, omega-3s might even help protect those delicate cells that send signals to your legs. Peripheral neuropathy, which causes tingling or numbness in the legs, is a real issue for many older adults. Omega-3s may reduce oxidative stress and promote nerve regeneration, helping preserve sensation and reduce discomfort. If you're wondering where to get these omega-3s, the best sources are fatty fish, like salmon, mackerel, sardines, and anchovies. If you don't eat fish regularly, purified fish oil supplements or algae-based vegan options can be a great alternative. Most studies suggest around 1,000 to 2,000 milligrams of combined EPA and DHA daily for anti-inflammatory and circulation benefits. When I started paying attention to my omega-3 intake, I really felt the difference in my leg comfort and overall energy. Have you ever considered that not all fats are bad? These fats might just be what your legs need to keep moving comfortably. Collagen peptides, the hidden framework of strong legs. You don't really see collagen, but it's there, holding everything together. Tendons, ligaments, cartilage. They all rely on collagen to stay strong and flexible. But with age, collagen production drops, and suddenly those knees don't bend as smoothly, ankles feel less stable, and movement isn't as fluid. I was amazed when I learned that collagen peptides could help rebuild this framework. Unlike regular collagen, these peptides are broken down into smaller pieces that your body can absorb easily. Once in your bloodstream, they travel to your joints and connective tissues and tell your body to ramp up its own collagen production. Studies show that people who took collagen peptides regularly experienced less joint pain, better flexibility, and even stronger bones over time. It's like giving your legs the building blocks to repair and stay resilient. What really clicked for me is that collagen isn't just about strength, it's about movement. When collagen-rich tissues are healthy, knees glide smoothly without grinding. Tendons like the Achilles flex without pain, and even the plantar fascia under your foot supports your every step without strain. But collagen doesn't work solo. Vitamin C is like the switch that turns collagen production on. Without enough vitamin C, your body can't rebuild collagen well, no matter how much you take. That's why collagen supplements often include vitamin C or suggest pairing with citrus fruits or bell peppers. If you're thinking about trying collagen, consistency is key. Most clinical benefits appear after 8 to 12 weeks of daily use. As for sources, collagen peptides come from bovine, cow, marine, fish, or porcine, pig. Marine collagen tends to be absorbed better, but bovine is the most studied. I added collagen peptides to my routine and really noticed my legs feeling more stable and less achy. Have you ever thought about what your leg's framework is made of? It's probably collagen, and taking care of it means smoother, stronger movement every day. You know what else blew my mind? Collagen doesn't just help joints. It helps the muscles themselves work better too. We often forget that muscles don't function in isolation. They pull on tendons, which attach to bones, and it's all these collagen-rich structures in between that transfer force and keep everything moving efficiently. When collagen starts breaking down, that chain of movement weakens. That's when you feel that weird stiffness in your knees after sitting too long, or the dull ache in your ankles after a hike. Another surprising benefit I came across is that collagen might help reduce inflammation in your joints. Some studies suggest that collagen peptides can stimulate the production of anti-inflammatory compounds while suppressing the bad ones. It's subtle, but over time, this could mean fewer flare-ups or less morning stiffness, especially if you're dealing with mild osteoarthritis or just general wear and tear from years of walking, running, or standing. I've also learned that collagen supports hydration and elasticity in connective tissue. That means your tendons and ligaments are not only stronger, but also more flexible and resilient. I don't know about you, but I've definitely had days where my legs felt like rusty hinges. The idea that I could nourish that inner scaffolding with something as simple as a daily scoop of collagen, that was a game changer. There's even some early research hinting that collagen might help with muscle recovery after exercise. Not in the way protein does for muscle growth, but by supporting the connective tissue that gets micro tears during workouts. So while you're training your legs, collagen might be helping in the background to make sure your tendons and ligaments bounce back stronger. I also found out that timing your collagen intake might matter. Some experts suggest taking it about an hour before exercise to encourage it to travel to the areas being stressed during your workout. So if I'm going on a leg day or a long hike, I'll mix my collagen into my smoothie or coffee beforehand, just to give those tissues the extra support when they need it most. At the end of the day, I've come to think of collagen as the invisible support crew for my legs. It's not flashy like muscle, and you won't see it working. But when it's there and strong, you'll feel it. Every step, every squat, every jump just feels more solid and supported. Creatine, the muscle powerhouse fueling your legs. I gotta admit, when I first heard about creatine, I thought it was just some bodybuilding supplement with little relevance outside the gym. But the deeper I dug, the more fascinated I became by how creatine actually plays a huge role in leg strength, muscle endurance, and recovery. And not just for athletes. Creatine is a naturally occurring compound, mostly stored in your muscles, that helps produce energy during high-intensity, short-duration activities. Think sprinting, jumping, or even climbing stairs. Our bodies make some creatine naturally from amino acids, but we also get it from animal-based foods like meat and fish. Why should I care about creatine for my legs? Well, it's all about how your muscles generate energy. When you contract your leg muscles to run or jump, they use ATP, adenosine triphosphate, for energy. ATP is like the battery that powers muscle movement. But here's the catch. ATP only lasts a few seconds during intense activity before it runs out. This is where creatine phosphate jumps in. It donates a phosphate group to help regenerate ATP quickly, giving your muscles an energy boost. So, if you think about it, creatine is like that emergency power bank that keeps your leg muscles going just a little longer. What really caught my attention was how creatine doesn't just help in explosive movements, but also supports overall muscle recovery and growth. Some studies even show that creatine can improve endurance by allowing your muscles to sustain effort for longer. I used to think creatine was only for young athletes wanting to bulk up, but research tells a different story. It actually benefits people across all ages, even older adults, by helping preserve muscle mass, which naturally declines as we age. For your legs, this is a big deal because maintaining muscle mass means better balance, strength, and mobility. I asked myself, can creatine really help with leg rehabilitation after injury or surgery? Turns out, yes. Supplementing with creatine during recovery can accelerate muscle regrowth and strength gains. That's a game changer if you're dealing with a leg injury or just trying to get stronger after a break. Now, how do you get creatine? Aside from your body's own production, the richest sources are red meat and fish. But here's the catch. If you're vegetarian or vegan, your natural creatine stores might be lower, which could impact your leg muscle performance. That's why creatine supplements have become popular. creatine monohydrate is the most studied and effective form, and it's pretty affordable. People usually take it in a loading phase for a week, then maintain a daily dose. But you don't have to load. Steady daily intake works fine too. Some folks worry about side effects like water retention or kidney damage, but research on healthy individuals shows creatine is generally safe when used responsibly. It's important to drink plenty of water though, as creatine pulls water into your muscles. A question I often get is, will creatine make my legs bulky? The truth is, creatine helps increase muscle size a bit because it boosts water content in muscles and supports muscle protein synthesis. But it's not magic bulk powder. How much muscle you build really depends on your exercise and diet. I also wondered, can creatine improve leg power for endurance athletes like runners or cyclists? It's less straightforward here since creatine mainly helps short bursts of power, but some studies suggest it can aid recovery and reduce fatigue, which indirectly benefits endurance training. One of the coolest things about creatine is that it may even improve brain function. Since it supports energy production in cells, some researchers think it can help cognitive performance, which might explain why athletes feel more sharp during intense training. So, if you want stronger, more powerful legs that recover faster and perform better, creatine is definitely worth considering. Whether you get it from your diet or supplements, it's a nutrient powerhouse working behind the scenes. Another thing that really changed my perspective was how creatine isn't just about strength. It also helps with muscular efficiency. I didn't realize this until I came across a study showing that people who take creatine use less energy for the same amount of work. That means your leg muscles don't tire out as quickly, and you might actually feel like your runs or stair climbs are easier, even though your output hasn't changed. That blew my mind. What's also fascinating is the impact creatine can have on mitochondrial function. You know those tiny power plants inside your cells? Creatine helps them run smoother, especially in fast-twitch muscle fibers, the ones that power your legs when you sprint, jump, or do explosive movements. This connection between creatine and your mitochondria might also explain why some people report less muscle fatigue and faster post-exercise recovery. Then there's the connection between hydration and muscle volume. When I started using creatine consistently, I noticed a fuller feeling in my legs, not bloated, but like the muscles were more alive. That's because creatine helps your muscles draw in more. Then there's the connection between hydration and muscle volume. When I started using creatine consistently, I noticed a fuller feeling in my legs, not bloated, but like the muscles were more alive. That's because creatine helps your muscles draw in more water, which not only aids protein synthesis, but also creates an environment where muscle repair and growth can happen more efficiently. And get this, women benefit from creatine too, but it's way less talked about. Many women think creatine is only for bulking, but that's just not true. Creatine can help with lean muscle tone, injury prevention, and even bone density, which is crucial for long-term leg strength and mobility. If you're someone who does Pilates, yoga, or strength training, creatine can silently support those moves by helping your legs activate better and recover faster. I also read that taking creatine with carbs, like a small piece of fruit or a smoothie, can help increase absorption. It's not mandatory, but the insulin spike from carbs seems to shuttle more creatine into your muscles. That's a neat little trick if you're looking to get the most out of your supplement. All in all, creatine feels like one of those few supplements where the science, real-world experience, and long-term benefits all line up. It's simple, safe, and effective, especially for your legs. And for someone like me who's constantly on the lookout for that edge in strength, energy, and recovery, creatine has definitely earned a permanent spot in my routine. Glucosamine, the joint savior for healthy, pain-free legs. Moving on, let's talk about glucosamine, a natural compound you might have heard about for joint health. but it deserves a spotlight when it comes to keeping your legs moving freely without pain or stiffness. I first got curious about glucosamine when I noticed some friends complaining about knee pain after years of running, or just from getting older. Turns out, glucosamine is one of the most studied supplements for joint support, especially in knees and hips. So what exactly is glucosamine? It's a building block of cartilage, the smooth tissue that cushions your joints and prevents bones from rubbing painfully against each other. Your body produces glucosamine naturally, but levels can decline due to aging, injury, or overuse. Why does this matter for my legs? Well, if your cartilage thins or breaks down, you start to feel stiffness, pain, and sometimes swelling in your knees, ankles, or hips. All major joints that keep your legs functional. I don't know about you, but the idea of losing that kind of mobility freaks me out. One of the fascinating things I learned is that glucosamine helps stimulate the repair and maintenance of cartilage. It provides the raw materials your body needs to build glycosaminoglycans, molecules that hold water and keep cartilage plump and shock absorbing. There are different forms of glucosamine supplements. Glucosamine sulfate is the most common and studied, while glucosamine hydrochloride is another variant with mixed evidence. I wondered, can glucosamine really prevent or reverse joint damage? The truth is, it's not a miracle cure. It's more about slowing down cartilage breakdown and reducing inflammation, which can relieve symptoms and improve joint function. Several studies show that people taking glucosamine supplements report less knee pain and better mobility, especially those with osteoarthritis. That's the wear and tear arthritis many of us fear as we age. Another question I had was about how long it takes to see results. Glucosamine is not like painkillers that work immediately. It may take several weeks or even a couple of months of consistent use before you notice improvement. I also learned that glucosamine seems safe for most people, with few side effects reported. Mostly mild digestive issues in some cases. But if you're allergic to shellfish, be careful since many glucosamine supplements are derived from shellfish shells. If you're wondering about natural food sources, glucosamine is mostly found in animal cartilage, so it's tough to get enough just from diet. That's why supplements are so popular. I find it interesting that glucosamine also might have anti-inflammatory properties, which can help reduce swelling and discomfort in leg joints. Now, do you have stiff or aching knees after a long walk or climb? Glucosamine might help ease that discomfort over time, letting you move more freely and with less pain. So if you want to keep your leg joints healthy and delay or ease joint wear and tear, glucosamine is definitely worth considering as part of your routine. It works quietly but effectively in the background, helping you stay active and pain-free. One thing that really surprised me was how glucosamine might also support joint lubrication. You know how sometimes your knees feel like rusty hinges? That creaky, grinding sensation? Well, glucosamine appears to play a role in boosting synovial fluid production. That's the slippery stuff that keeps your joints gliding smoothly. When this fluid dries up or gets less effective with age, every step starts to feel like a chore. So giving your body the ingredients it needs to keep those joints well-oiled makes a ton of sense. Another interesting detail I stumbled upon is how glucosamine may work best when paired with chondroitin, another compound found in cartilage. Some supplement blends combine the two, and while the evidence is still mixed, some people swear by the combo for better pain relief and improved joint flexibility. I haven't personally tried the blend yet, but I'm tempted to after seeing how many athletes and older adults include both in their daily stack. And speaking of athletes, glucosamine isn't just for folks dealing with arthritis or aging joints. A lot of people who run, lift, cycle, or play high-impact sports end up putting massive stress on their knees, hips, and ankles. That wear and tear builds up over time. So even if you're in your 20s or 30s, starting glucosamine early could help you preserve your joint health long-term. Think of it like a maintenance plan. You're not waiting for the engine to break down before adding oil. One more thing I couldn't ignore is the research around cartilage regeneration. While we used to believe cartilage couldn't be rebuilt once it was damaged, new findings suggest glucosamine might encourage some repair. It's not a quick fix, and it won't completely regenerate worn-out joints, but even a small boost in repair could mean years of extra mobility. I also found out that the form and dosage really matter. Most studies use doses around 1,500 milligrams of glucosamine sulfate per day. Anything less might not give you noticeable benefits, and it has to be taken consistently, not just when you remember or feel pain, but daily. That's what helps the compound build up and do its job over time. For me, glucosamine feels like one of those underrated players in the supplement world. It's not flashy, it doesn't give you instant results like caffeine or creatine, but it's reliable, working slowly and steadily to protect what keeps you moving. And if you've ever dealt with stiff legs that make stairs feel like a mountain, you'll know just how valuable that kind of support is. Curcumin, the golden spice fighting leg inflammation and pain. Finally, let's talk about curcumin, the vibrant yellow compound in turmeric that's been revered for centuries for its healing properties. I didn't think turmeric could do much for my legs until I started reading about curcumin's anti-inflammatory superpowers. Chronic inflammation is a sneaky enemy when it comes to leg health. Whether it's from arthritis, overuse injuries, or general wear and tear, inflammation causes pain, stiffness, and slows recovery. That's where curcumin shines. Curcumin is the main bioactive compound in turmeric, responsible for its bright color and powerful effects. It's a potent antioxidant and anti-inflammatory agent that interferes with many inflammatory pathways in the body. What really blew my mind was learning how curcumin works at a molecular level. It blocks molecules like NF-κB, which regulate the expression of genes involved in inflammation. Basically, it tells your body to dial down the inflammatory response that causes joint and muscle pain. I asked myself, can something from a spice actually compete with pharmaceuticals in reducing inflammation? Surprisingly, some studies show that curcumin can be as effective as non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, NSAIDs, like ibuprofen, but without the nasty side effects. For your legs, curcumin's benefits extend to reducing pain and swelling in knees, hips, and muscles, speeding up recovery after exercise, and possibly protecting cartilage from damage. One challenge with curcumin is its bioavailability. It's not absorbed well when taken alone, but taking it with black pepper piperine or fats boosts absorption dramatically. Many supplements combine curcumin with piperine to maximize benefits. If you've ever dealt with leg cramps, muscle soreness, or joint stiffness, curcumin might help reduce the intensity and frequency by calming down inflammation. Here's a question I've been pondering. Could curcumin help prevent chronic conditions like osteoarthritis? While research is ongoing, early results suggest it can slow disease progression and improve quality of life. I started adding turmeric to my meals and even tried supplements to see if it made a difference during periods of intense leg training. The results were noticeable. Less soreness, faster recovery, and a general feeling of reduced stiffness. Curcumin is also known for its antioxidant properties, protecting muscle cells from oxidative damage caused by intense exercise. This means it helps your legs bounce back quicker and stay healthier long-term. Of course, turmeric and curcumin aren't magic pills. They work best as part of a balanced diet and lifestyle. The takeaway? If you want to keep your legs feeling younger, less achy, and able to recover faster, curcumin deserves a spot on your list. One thing I didn't fully appreciate at first was just how versatile curcumin really is. It's not just about fighting inflammation and pain. Curcumin also plays a role in improving circulation, which is a big deal for leg health. Better blood flow means your muscles and joints get more oxygen and nutrients, helping them function better and recover faster. When your legs are moving well and getting what they need, everything feels smoother, whether you're walking up a flight of stairs or powering through a tough workout. Now, you might be wondering, if curcumin is so powerful, why isn't everyone just taking turmeric supplements all the time? Well, part of the answer is that turmeric's bright yellow pigment doesn't just look cool, it also signals the presence of many other compounds working alongside curcumin. Some of these compounds can enhance or sometimes even limit curcumin's effects, which is why pure curcumin extracts, often combined with black pepper, are generally recommended for targeted benefits. Speaking of black pepper, it's wild to think that such a common kitchen staple can boost curcumin absorption by up to 2,000%. That little compound, piperine, essentially opens the door for your digestive system to soak up more curcumin, making a huge difference in how effective it is. Another fascinating angle I came across is how curcumin might influence your immune system. It doesn't just blunt inflammation, it also modulates immune responses, helping your body avoid overreacting and causing damage, especially in chronic conditions. For your legs, this means less unnecessary swelling and pain after injury or intense activity. It's like giving your immune system a gentle nudge to work smarter, not harder. I also found out that curcumin can support the production of collagen, a critical protein for the structure and strength of your joints, tendons, and muscles. Collagen is what keeps everything in your legs sturdy and flexible. As we age, collagen production drops, making joints stiffer and more prone to injury. Adding curcumin might help slow down this decline, which is fantastic news if you want to maintain leg mobility and avoid that creaky feeling. One thing I think about often: could curcumin be a natural alternative or addition to traditional pain meds for people who want to avoid side effects? The research looks promising, especially since long-term use of NSAIDs can cause stomach issues or kidney problems. Curcumin offers a gentler approach without those risks, though it's important to remember it's not an instant fix. Patience and consistency are key. Finally, for anyone into fitness or sports, curcumin's role in reducing delayed onset muscle soreness, DOMS, is a game changer. If you've ever felt those aches and pains a day or two after leg day, curcumin might help cut that downtime short, so you're back at it sooner without that nagging stiffness. So yeah, curcumin is much more than just a spice on your plate. It's a powerful multitasking ally for leg health, combining antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, immune-supporting, and collagen-boosting effects. If you want your legs to stay strong, flexible, and pain-free for the long haul, curcumin is definitely worth including in your routine. Alright, let's wrap this up. We've just gone through 6 powerhouse nutrients that can totally transform the way your legs feel, move, and recover. Starting with omega-3, which helps reduce inflammation and keeps blood flowing smoothly to your muscles and joints. Then we had collagen, the scaffolding your joints, tendons, and ligaments rely on for strength and flexibility. Creatine gave us that explosive energy boost and faster recovery during intense workouts or even just climbing stairs. Glucosamine showed up like a joint mechanic, helping to repair cartilage and ease stiffness. And curcumin, the anti-inflammatory superhero from turmeric, quietly but powerfully works behind the scenes to ease pain and speed up healing. What's crazy is, these aren't just random supplements. They're nutrients your body either naturally makes or desperately needs more of, especially as we age or push our limits. So here's what I want to ask you. Have you tried any of these before? Or is there one you're curious to start with? Let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear what's worked for you or what you're excited to try. And hey, if you got even one helpful insight from this video, do me a quick favor, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It helps more than you know and lets me keep creating content that's actually useful. Thanks for hanging out with me. Here's to stronger legs and a healthier you. See you in the next one.